And welcome to another video segment from freechartvideos.com, where we use time-honored techniques to understand modern markets. This video is for educational purposes only and is not intended to be any form of investment advice. I can draw lines on charts, but you have to draw your own conclusions from your own due diligence and make investment decisions that are suitable for your financial situation. And I am not a licensed professional. I'm just a guy who draws lines on charts. Let's look at the S&P 500 chart as of the close on October 18th, 2010. First, we're looking at a 4-hour chart just to recap. This is the day of the flash crash, which set in motion what I believe is, as outlined by these blue lines, is basically a bull flag consolidation that has bullish implications. One reason why I believe this is as we saw this develop, we had 1, 2, 3 peaks, came down here, broke up, came back and retested this same level about 1223. Now it already broken this line, came back for a perfect back test, came up to the 1223 mark again, hung out there for a few days, broke out, tested, consolidated, and now is starting to move higher. The target from this inverse head and shoulders is conservatively 1240. I think it could go a little higher than that just based on this long candle here. And it's also very possible that it goes significantly higher. This is the minimum expected target. So let's look now at a 1-hour chart. And what I want us to look at here is how nicely all of this action since the bottom of that right shoulder, how nicely all of this is kind of lined up. It's all in the same trajectory at the same angle of ascent, and it's staying with that. In other words, this is definitely an uptrend. We had a little bit of a shift to the right out of that channel to where now looks like we're following the lower part of the channel. But everything's looking fine at this point. So you can make these channel lines whatever color you want. I'll make them red just so they'll stand out. And I'm going to take a look here at a 5-minute chart, but because I want to show you what the action was today and also remind you of last Friday's video. And here is the 5-minute view. You might recall that one of the last videos I did of the S&P 500, we identified a descending wedge pattern right here that took place on Thursday of last week. And at that time, on Thursday, I said, this had broken out. I said, don't be surprised if this comes back for a back test. I think it's very interesting that back test did two things. It back tested the breakout from that wedge, and at the same time tested that rising line of support. I mentioned that with that strong downward move to then recover and start to go sideways, and having bounced right where it should have, that I thought that was setting up a bullish move for the beginning of this week. And by golly, this morning we got it. Another thing that I talked about was I would start to feel a lot better about this market. This is a tall candle here. You just can't see it. I said I'd feel a lot better about this market if we could take out a line drawn across this top and this top. And early this morning, we took that line out, noodled around a bit. What did we do here? Came back for a back test, and now prices started to move up and closed near the highs for the day. And to my eye, it looks like we may be starting to put in just a little tiny area of consolidation right here between 1184 and just under 1186. In the short term, I think we're going to head for this top line. Let's make it a nice color. In the short term, I think the S&P is going to be heading for 1200. In the midterm, I think we're going to head for that level that is pointed to by this inverse head and shoulders, which is about 1240, possibly 1250. These lines got all wonky when I zoomed out, but so anyway, that's kind of where we stand at the end of the day with the S&P 500. I hope you enjoy the chart, and I want to remind you, please come visit freechartvideos.com. We've got other stuff going on there. I have charts of select individual stocks. We put a chart up today of Baidu, and as well as a chart of Apple. We've got Apple up, and all of these things are relevant in today's market. Good trading to you. Thanks for your time.